Yeah, hello guys. Good evening, everyone. Can you please confirm, am I audible clearly? And the screen is visible also? Yes, guys, please confirm, am I audible? Yeah, Shraddha, good evening. Yes, good evening, Srushti. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, now let us begin a session today. In the last session, we guys have discussed with some, data structure concept. So some of the student requested me to get a time to revise the data structure concept in a coding approach. And that is the reason we have given the 3 days of time 8, and we guys are going to again understand three more important questions right there from the TCS coding pattern, and we are going to implement here on a screen. So this is the question one on a screen. You guys can read the question, and at the last you can tell me the logic for the question. Okay, this is the problem statement. Read it. You have 5 minutes of time to read the question and tell me whatever the logic, either in a chat box right there in the YouTube live and right there in a Facebook live. All right, now let us understood these coding questions right here along with the implementation. So as per the problem statement, okay, the same problem statement we guys have already solved in the question 1, and the same day of that TCS exam at the question 2, these problem statement is going to be asked. Okay, let us check with this. What is exactly the way of implementation related to this problem statement? So we basically have a high profile secret agency, and this agency is wants to handle all the messages those are sent and received in a ciphertext. Okay, in I guess in day 3 or day 4, we guys have sought with this kind of questions how to form the ciphertext, and there itself we have seen the two important terminology when it comes to the coding approaches in Python, that is what ORD function and CHR function, where the ORD function will help us to convert a character into the ASCII values. That what we have seen on this problem statement. And similar to this CHR function will help us, okay, to convert any ASCII values, okay, into the characters. So again, we guys are going to use these two respective approach of the functions in a Python, and we are going to help them out. Okay, let us understood this problem statement using this. So how they are going to form a ciphertext? So they need to build a program or a software where every mail sent or received in the organization will be encrypted using some codes. And here the codes are given below in the actual scenario. So in this scenario, we guys can see we have the codes right at there. So we have actual code A and we have to convert them to the F. Again, similarly, we have B, we have to convert them to the G. So if you going to write, let me erase with this. So if I'm going to write A, B, C, D and their ciphertext below, okay, so this is A, B, C, D, and just for E. So till E, we have the ciphertext called as F, then G right at here, then we have H, we have I, and we have J. So if you guys can see here, so this alphabet A is going to convert to the alphabet F, and we have assumed that all the string that we are going to read from the input is merged. There is no unit is uppercase, so we have to assume the string that we are going to read should be in a lowercase pattern. Well, here to be get implement this, if you're going to understand the position of that ciphertext from the actual text, so if I'm going to write A, B, C, D, and F, so you guys can see we have the fifth position for every character. If I'm going to talk about B, so after the F, we must have the G right at there. So the B of the fifth position should be at G. So this is the logic. Yes, Utkarsha, that is right. In a string input, every alphabet is encrypted by the next of fifth alphabet from the that 26 alphabet right at here. But for this problem statement, we have some other inputs to take. Okay, likewise, when it comes to U, so U is going to convert to the Z. So after the Z, we don't have any alphabets to be get stored. So when we are starting with V, at that time, again, it has to start with the given character A. Now, very important thing, let us understand the basic terminology of converting the character to the fifth character, and then we will get back to this terminology so that we guys can able to work with them very easily. So let us get back and understand how we guys can able to convert any character to their ASCII values and add +5 and make them convert to the character again. So for this, I'm going to open the Python ideally here. So let me open the ideally, and to do that, so we guys are going to use a function called as ORD. So this ORD function will help us, to convert a given character the ASCII value, simply write the ORD of single code small a. So the ASCII value of small a must be of 122. Sorry, that is 97. So this is how it is going to be returns with written here. And the ASCII values of your Z must be 122. So we have the maximum value range here, that is 122, which means, let us say I have to get the cipher text. So what I'm going to do, I am going to add the +5 to my original string. And now you guys can see it returns 102, and these 102 I have to convert them to the character again. So from the ASCII I have to convert them to the character, and to do that, so I'm going to say the character of this ORD of any letter, okay, +5. So you guys can see it returns with that character. The A must be ciphered to the F. Okay, that is fine. So logic 1, yes, definitely we can able to achieve. So A got converted to the F until this character of ORD of U, okay, +5, that can be also works. The value it returns with the Z. But when it comes to the value of, that is ORD of Z, as just now we got discussed, that is 122. So when by adding that current character to the ASCII values by +5, if that range or if that sum is less than 122, in that case, yes, definitely we should go with this logic. But let us say we have V write it there, and as per our problem statement, the V must be get ciphered to the alphabet A, and to recirculate current alphabet. Now, how I am going to do with this? Let us find out a way to do with that. So here, to find out this way, what I am going to do, I am going to say the character of, okay, if the value of that current character by adding +5 is greater than 122, then I'm going to say, let us say for V, I'm calculating. So for the V, if you are going to check the ORD of V, okay, ORD of V is 118. And if you are going to add ORD of V by the +5, so you guys returns with 123. So to do these things, like here we want A. So if you guys can see, the character of 123 must be any symbol. Okay, we don't want symbol right now. What we want a character in a circular order format. And to do that, so what we can do, so whatever that result we are going to receive, you can minus 122 from them, and again add the 97 to it. Okay, why 97? Because our starting alphabet of that ASCII value is 97. Now when I'm going to hit an enter, so you guys can see it returns 97, and if you convert that 98 to this character, so it returns B, but we want A. And to do that, so for this entire formula, that is the result, by adding +5, if it is greater than 122, we are result, and again plus 97 and -1. So this logic we have to apply, and when you are going to convert this, okay, it should be 97. I have written of 97 that returns with our the circular given character from A to Z one more time. Okay, so we have two conditions right here. So first we are going to take that string. So let me create a new file here. As per the problem statement, what we want, we are going to read a string, and in the test cases or in the node they have mentioned, what they have mentioned right at here is what this string cannot have any special characters, including space or numbers or any uppercase letter. So which means the string that we guys are going to receive with is must be in a lowercase format. So I'm going to read that string first. So let me work with this. So I'm going to remove everything from here. Let us get back. So as per the problem statement, we guys are going to read a string. So I'm going to read that string into the string one variable. So string one equals to input, and then we have to form a result. And now to form a result, I'm going to create a result empty string, or you can create a list also. We are going to check with them with both of the approaches. So here I'm creating an empty list right now, and as I wanted to iterate from each and every character given, and we are not bothered about the index of the character, then in this case, I should go with the dynamic for loop. So here I'm going to write for ch in that string. And as per our problem statement, first we are going to convert the current character to the ASCII value and store it to the variable, and we have to add +5 to them also. So I'm going to combine these both of the steps in a single line. So please be focused. So I'm creating a variable temp here. So temp must be the ORD of ch +5. So we have to add +5 to them. So as far as we know, the ORD of Z is 122. So if that value of temp, okay, is greater than 122, then I have to make them reverse by writing the formula in the logic that just now we got discovered. Okay, so to do that, so here I'm going to write a condition if the temp is greater than 122. In that case, your temp must be equals to of what? Temp minus 122 plus 97 minus 1. So whatever it may be, that is going to form and restore into the temp. And at the last, you can, after completion of this, if you can join that character by converting from the temp of ASCII values to the string. So here I'm going to say result plus equals to the character of temp. And after completion of these for loop here, I'm going to print that result. Now let me just save this code as, let us say, TCS coding day 8. Now I'm going to run with this along with the given input test cases. So we have two input test cases. First one is word. So let us run this program. And here I'm going to input as word. And you guys can see it returns with the correct output. What is the output right there? Okay, let me maximize the screen. So the output we have BTWI. Now let me check in the given output. So yes, it returns with the BTWI. Okay, now let us check with the second test cases, that is reply write it here. So I will get back to my code. I'm going to rerun the program, and the second test cases we will have, that is reply. And here we have WJUQD. Let us cross check with this. Yes, it returns the same WJUQD. I hope everyone here in a call have understand this problem statement and what is the right methodologies to works with this problem statement. Yes, guys, please confirm. I hope everyone here in a call have understood everything. Quick yes or no? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. All right. Okay. Okay, great. Great. Okay, now let us begin to understand our question 2 from the today's session. So I'm going to open the question 2 on your screen right here. You guys have to read the question, and again you are going to take a 5 minutes to solve the logic, and you have to tell me that logic right here in the chat box, either from Facebook Live or to the YouTube Live. So let us get back here. And this is your question number 2. Yes, that is the logic. First, what we have to do, first we have to calculate the binary of input number, then calculate the ones complement of it, and then convert the result. Absolutely right, but programmatically, that too without using any inbuilt function, it has to be done right at there. Now I will tell you this trick how these things are going to be works with. So basically, when you are going to be works with these kind of approaches, and let us say right now I am working with the correct scenario of working or converting any number to the binary. So in using this, we can easily accommodate that codes and we can pass the test cases. But when it comes to online compilers, those are there in exams, certain packages, kind of math, kind of strings, are this binary convergence or any other convergence, such a convergent that packages were not establishes in online compilers. So most of the cases you guys needs to Python or inbuilt function from the C++ or inbuilt function from the Java programming languages or any other that you are so much familiar with. So basically what you have to do, you have to write a core code to convert a basical number into the decimal or the decimal number into the binary. So that core code is actually requires to make you crack. So let us understood them. What is this problem statement exactly? What steps that we guys have to follow, and what is the core logic that we should have to followed with so that we can able to form that respected test cases pass. Okay, let us get it started here. So in this problem statement, we have a one person called a Joseph. Okay, this Joseph is learning a digital logic subject. Okay, he's learning what? A digital logic subject. Okay, which will be for his next chapter, and he usually tries to solve the unit assignment problem before the lecture. So today he got to know one tricky question. What is that tricky question? The problem statement is, okay, this is where the problem statement is getting started. A positive integer has been an input. So in the test cases given that the whatever the input that we are going to be followed with, it must be a positive integer. That is what for sure. Second, okay, we have to convert these decimal value to the binary. Okay, so I have to convert this value to the is to convert our given this binary. This is our state. All bits meaning what? Toggling the bits is a meaning like if we are having 0, so it is going to convert to the 1. If we are having 1, it is going to convert to the 0. That is the main approach of working with this code. Now, as I discuss right at here, we can't use any inbuilt methods. So we don't have to use any inbuilt methods to convert a given decimal to the binary. Now, the very most important approach is how to solve all these aspects when it comes to the implementation of these decimal to the binary and toggling all the bits. Okay, let us try to understand them. Then we guys are going to read the rest of problem statement right it here. So to convert the given decimal to binary, you have to store or you have to create an empty list. Okay, let us create an empty list. I'm going to write that name of list as a binary. Okay, binary empty list I'm going to create, and this is the input I'm going to take it. So the value of 10 is got input, so n equals to 10 I'm going to store. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute a while loop. Okay, and I am going to execute this while loop till the value of n becomes as a 0. So what I wanted to write, so while that n is not equals to 0, and inside the while I'm going to divide that number or that n by 2, and I'm going to find out the remainder of this number. So which means I'm going to store here, let us say t equals to n modulus 2. So whatever the remainder it must be, that I'm going to store it right at here. And these value of t, we are going to add it to our given binary empty list. So let us add them. So here I'm going to say binary dot append. I'm writing in short, just app for append and the value of t. And later, what I'm going to do, this value of t, I'm going to assign to the n. Okay, so that at a runtime, the value that we guys are going to receive with, it should be set it to the value of n, so that the value of n is continuously got decremented. Or you can do it in a vice versa pattern. Vice versa pattern means what? Like we guys can able to set this n equals to n divided by 2. So let us write with them. After adding them binary, I'm going to say n equals to n divided by 2. Now let us check how does all these things are going to be works with. Okay, let us check with them. So as we have the value of n as a 10, so first it is going to check 10 is not equals to 0. Yes, condition becomes true. So 10 modulus 2. Okay, 10 modulus 2, that returns the reminder, and in this case the reminder is what? 0. So initially in this binary, so here I'm writing a binary, so in this binary array we are going to insert a 0, and then it is going to say n equals to n divided by 2. So the value of n is going to shifted, that is 10 divided by 2, and we have used this floor division, which means the value of that division must be in an integer format, that is it becomes right now as a 5. Now again it is going to check with the condition. So the value of n right now is 5. So 5 is not equals to 0. Again condition becomes true. So when the condition becomes true, it is going to divide them by modulus 2. So 5 modulus 2, the remainder must be of 1. So in a binary, again the 1 is going to store. So again it is going to divide the number. So 5 divided by 2. So it becomes that a quotient of the division as a 2, right? So again it is going to check with this. So again 2 is not equals to 0. So condition becomes true. Again 2 modulus 2, the remainder must be of 0, and it is going to add it to the binary. And 2 divided by 2, the quotient, it returns as a 1. Again it is going to check. Okay, 1 is not equals to 0. The condition becomes true. And again it is going to form t equals to n, that is what? 1 modulus 2, and 1 modulus 2, the remainder is what? 1. And then n, that is what? 1 divided by 2, it becomes at 0, and this loop will be get false. And here we have written some data into the binary. Now you guys tell me in a comment box, what is the binary of 10 we will have? Okay, everyone make the comment fast. What is the binary of 10? What is the binary of 10? Yes, that is exactly right. That is 1010. But if you guys can understand in a given binary, so we have formed the reverse of it. Okay, we have formed what? The reverse of it. So which means to get the exact binary of given number, what I'm going to do, I'm going to store this binary, okay, equals to the binary of colon minus 1. And that is how we can able to get any number, those have get converted from decimal to binary, that too without using any inbuilt function. Okay, before moving to the second chapter of this problem statement, I want everyone here to be get confirmed to understand. I hope everybody here in a call have understand what is the core logic of converting any decimal to the binary? Okay, quick yes or no in our chat box, guys. Yes, guys, is that understood? Please confirm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now let us get back first and let us implement this to convert any decimal to the binary in the format of the core logic. So I'm going to just minimize them from here. So in the same code, I'm going to write all these things. So as per these problem statement, I'm going to input the value of n, that is the positive integer input. So n equals to integer of input without any inputting messages. So if the n is negative, we have to print as an invalid. So here I'm going to say if n is less than 0, then I'm going to print here as invalid, right? Else, so in an else block, I have to write this code. Okay, what code I have to write? A proper code to implement that core logic. What is the core logic? Okay, as I have to create a one list right there. So I'm going to say binary equals to empty list, and I'm going to run this while loop till value of n becomes as a 0. Okay, and every time I'm going to store into the t, that is n modulus 2, and then I'm going to add them to the binary. So binary dot append of t, and then we are going to say simply n equals to n divided by 2. Okay, so using this logic, we can form a binary, but the binary should be formed as binary equals to binary of reverse, that is colon colon minus 1. Now we have get with our binary value, as we have the task of toggling the digits. Okay, toggling the digit means what? If it is 0, we are going to set it to 1. If it is 1, we are going to set it to the 0. Okay, I'm going to perform this step into the same while loop. Okay, which means the t right here is the actual digit of our binary. So to this t only, I'm going to write a code like, okay, if that t is equals to 0, then I'm going to say t equals to 1. Else, I'm going to say t equals to 0. So here we are performing that both of the tasks. What is our task right now is to toggle the digits. Means if it is 0, we are going to convert them to the 1. If it is 1, we are going to convert them to the 0, and that is how we are forming with our binary by toggling them. All right. Now the next step or the next phase of the problem is going to come right at here is what? After the toggling the digits, okay, this is how we are going to toggle. So the original binary of this 10 is now going to be formed as 1010. Now after toggling them, the value it becomes 1 becomes 0. Okay, then 0 becomes 1. This 1 becomes 0, 0 becomes 1. Now our next step is to convert this binary to the decimal, that too again using core logic. Okay, let us understand them. So I'm going to remove this everything, and here I'm going to write with this code. So we have 10101, and we knows the decimal of the 0101 is what? 5. And how we are going to do this? So as per the simple mathematics, I'm going to iterate from this string, and these indices where we have 1, these indices along with the 2 raised to power, we are going to add it to the result. Like I have to iterate this, and as I required with the index value, so I'm going to write a for loop for I in a range of this length of the binary. So length of binary for every input is going to changes. So here I'm just writing in a short as bin, and in this for loop, okay, if that current value of binary of I is 1, only for them we are going to add it to the result. So before this, I'm going to store result equals to 0. And here I'm going to check if that binary of I, okay, is not equals to 0. So if it is not equals to 0, in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply say result plus equals to 2 raised to. So in a Python using double asterisk, you can find out the power of any number 2 raised to the current index, that is I. And then after completion of this for, we can able to simply print that result right at here. Now let us understood them how does it is going to works. So we have these values and right now the result is 0. So for I in the range of length of bean, so length of bean is 4 and it is going to starts with a 0, that is at this position till to this point. Now let us see how does it is going to works. So first it is going to check the binary of 0 is not equals to 0. So as we have 0 right here, so this condition becomes false for the index of 0. When it is get shifted to this, okay, that is index of 1. So this condition becomes true and into the result. So 2 raised to 1, okay, 2 raised to 1 is what, 2 again. So in the result first, it is going to add to the 2, okay. And now in the next approaches, does it going to follow the same? So again, for the next one, the condition becomes false, okay. And for this next one, when the value of I is becomes as a 3, so it is going to check with this. Again, the binary of I is not equals to this, and it is going to add that value right at there. Okay, now let us do understood this logic by implementing them. So I will get back to the editor, and after completion of this while loop, here I'm going to add them. Let me minimize it. So here I'm going to say for, okay, first create a result. So result equals to 0 initially. So for I in the range of length of binary. All right. So if the binary of I is not equals to 0, then I'm going to say result plus equals to 2 raised to I. Whatever the value of that 2 that we will have, we are going to raise them to the I, and we can able to find out them very easily right at there. And then next to this, for here, I'm going to print the result. All right, now let us save the code and let us check it for the 10. Okay, so I'm going to rerun the block. Let me rerun it. So here I'm going to input as a 10. Now let us hit an enter and it returns with the same number. Okay, I guess let me check with this toggling binary. Let me print that binary. I guess toggling options is not working properly. All right. 1010, that is how it is going to form. Okay, after toggling it works fine. Oh, after toggling it is going to works fine. Then it is not required to form them with a binary, because after toggling them the reverse is not required right at here. Let me rerun them once. Yes, that is the extra step that we guys have made. As the input of 10, 1010 is going to come up, but for different inputs, that reversing of number is not supposed to be required at the current point given below. So I just got removed with that reversing of a number, and we are simply printing that binary after toggling the numbers itself. And we guys can see we are returning with that same respective output right now on our screen for the given test cases right at here. So everyone, please confirm. I hope you have understood the logic for these questions and how to implement with the same also. Everyone here in a call, please confirm the details right at here. Is that clear, Smith? Yes, quick yes or no. Is that clear with this stuff? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Okay. Okay. Now let us get back to the last coding question from the today's session right at here. So this is where the coding question on your screen. All right, now let us begin to understand these implementation, the problem statement. When you guys are start reading on it, you might feel that yes, it is quite easier problem statement, but the main thing of the problem statement I haven't mentioned right at here. Let us understand them along with the given time complexity, and let us make them implement right at here. What is the problem statement does it mention? So let me delete this previous one. So here we have a chocolate factory. Okay, it's packing chocolates into the packets. So they are going to pack the chocolates into the packets, and the chocolate packets here represents an array of n numbers. Okay, that n numbers array is the number of chocolates, and it's in a integer values. Our task is to find an empty packets that is having the value of 0 of chocolate and push it to the end of conveyor belt, that is push it to the end of array. Now you might got thinking that yes, we can read an array. Okay, so for reading an array we can use a for loop as per the given problem statement, and every time I'm going to check and I'm going to push that 0, remove from the current index and push back to that respective linked list or to that list in a Python. That is how simple it is. But most ever important, we guys have to follow the time complexity of order of log n, not as order of n. Order of n using this logic, yes, you can iterate from the array and you can check that element is 0 or not, then delete from the given index and add to the last index of that element. This is how it will works, and there is no any logic of ascending or descending. Okay, what it says, like, let us understood them. So we have a value of n as a 7, and these are the array elements. So you guys can see for the 3 packets we have the 0 values at here, at here, and at here. So they are going to add it to the end of the array. So array will becomes like 4, 5. So this 0 is going to add to the next. So remaining I'm going to write first 1, 9, 5, and then this 0, then rest second 0 and third 0. That is the output we required. So which means here ascending, descending is not required. We have to shift that 0 to the last index of the logic with the time complexity of order of log n, not with the order of n. And now to do that, so what I'm going to follow with the approach, let us discuss with them. So when we are going to read the value of n, so our first task definitely is what? Reading the value of n. After reading the value of n, we are going to form a list of data or a chocolates where n times zeros are going to store. Okay, what I'm going to do, let us say n is 5. So this data of list I'm going to form in such a way that 5 times 0 in this array we are going to be stored. The next step right here is to read the input array. Okay, now to read the input array, what I'm going to do, again, you guys can see for every array element, the reading can be done separately right at here. And to do that, so here you can write a for loop like for I in a range of this n, and here first you can read that value to any other variable. Okay, you can read the value to any other variable. Let us say t. So t equals to the value of integer input. So here I'm going to write t equals to integer of input. And then next step that I'm going to be follows with right here, I'm going to add this t if that value is not equals to 0. So just one more condition I'm going to write. So if that t is not equals to the 0, then I'm going to push this value to the data. And at the same time, okay, what we have to be followed with that index, because that index must be goes to the last value. And for this index here at this line, we are going to define the index value, let us say idx equals to 0. And while pushing the data, we are not using the append method. What we are guys going to do, we are simply saying this data of this index equals to t, and then the value of index we are going to increment by the +1. And with respect to this, we are going to simply add the element, those are not 0, to the sequential format of the data, and definitely the rest of elements will be becomes at 0. Now let us understood them with the given test cases right at here. So here we have input as a 6. Okay, this second input I am going to take it. So n6 means 6 times zeros it is going to form, right? And then for I in the range, so first when it is going to input as a 6, so 6 is not equals to 0. So that data of 0th index, because the index value right now is 0. So the data of that 0th index, it is going to store to the 6. All right. Now the second input is 0. Okay. Now the second input is matches, does not match with this condition. So the index value is not increment, data is not equals, not going to insert to our array. Okay, now again, when it is going to read 1, so these condition becomes true. Okay, the value of input is not equals to 1. So it is going to add it to the current index that is already incremented. So at 1th position, it is going to add 1. Okay, similar to this, when we are going to add 8, similar to this, when we are going to add 2, and rest value will becomes as a 0. Okay, now let us implement this same code to the editor. So I'm going to get back to the editor right at here. And to the same code, I'm going to do the changes. So very basically what I wanted to read the value of n, that is integer of input. Then next we have to form the data. Okay, where 0 times, okay, 0 multiplied by n times, I have to store the zeros into that array. So here I'm going to say data equals to, okay, using list comprehension techniques, I'm going to add that 0. So here I'm going to say 0 for I in a range of n. So till that n times 0 is going to insert to that data. And then here again by n times, I'm going to run a for loop. And I'm going to read a data. So t equals to again integer of input. And if that t is not equals to 0, okay, let me create with the index element also. So index equals to 0. So if that t is not equals to 0, then I'm going to say the data of index, okay, equals to the t, and the value of index we are going to increment by the +1. And after completion of this, we can print that data directly on a console. So here I'm going to say print of asterisk this data, and the values are separated by the space. All right, now let us work with this. So here I'm going to run the statement, and let us check for test cases 1. So let us run a code. So the value of n is 7, and here we are having the inputs. Let me check what are the inputs. 4501005. So we have the input separated by each and every new line. 4501000, and what is next? Okay, 050. I can't able to change them. So here I'm going to write 5 and then 0 one more time. All right, now let us check the output. So you guys can see all the zeros are going to append to the last of the array, and all the numericals are going to put to the front. All right, now let us check the test cases too. So we have these test cases too, where the number of inputs are 6, 601, 802. Okay, so let me run the code. So we have this number of input as a 6. So 601,802. And now let us run with this code. So you guys may observe again, all the zeros will get append to the last of array, and all non-numericals, non-zero values are going to insert to the array. And this given with the time complexity of order of log n. So this is how we guys are going to works with this logic. I hope everyone right here in a call have understood clearly what is the basic implementation of working with this problem statement. Yes, guys, quick yes or no? Okay, that's it for today. Okay, so tomorrow again with the same time of 6:30, we guys are going to meet up. And again, we are going to solve with the three different unique questions those have asked in a TCS, or else we will start with tabulation or monetization process in a data structure, on which the question 2 has been asked in so many frequent format. So let us again meet tomorrow with the same time, and we are going to have this rest of the approaches right there in a session. Everyone, thanks for joining these sessions. If you are new to our channel, please do like, do share, and do subscribe to our channel. If you are watching from Facebook Live, so do follow to our page and share to the needful people. Thanks for watching this video, guys. We will meet up soon to the next video tutorial.